Hello and welcome to the pre-match show. It's Chennai Super Kings versus Lucknow Super Giants, and it will be a sea of yellow at the Chepauk today. With me, I have my co-host Prantik Mazumdar, and of course, my guests Debashish Sen and Atreya Mukhopadhyay. Prantik, over to
Hi.
you.
Thank you so much, Trisha. So good to be on the show and a very warm welcome evening, morning, wherever you're watching. As Trisha rightly said, it's a super game. Two super awesome teams. Devashish Sen, first question to you. Chennai Super Kings playing at home. You've spoken about this to me in person and on Twitter that the home and away is what makes IPL special. How important will be the aspect of playing at home for Chennai, for MS Dhoni, after obviously, unfortunately, losing the first game?
Obviously, it's a huge moment for crowds at Chepak. Obviously, the home team, and remember, Chennai will be playing at the venue after 4 years. So and it's a kind of a fortress for Chennai Super Kings to be playing at the Chepak, and obviously, and we have seen the passion during the practice matches which Chennai played. Obviously, Dhoni walking in. With a huge round of applause, or almost a packed house cheering Dhoni to practice, and we can expect what sort of atmosphere it will be at Chennai today. But on the match front, obviously, it's a very important match for Chennai Super Kings. They cannot afford to lose two out of two at the start of the tournament because, um, and remember, it's their home match. So I think it will be a very important match for CSK.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yes, go ahead,
Atreya,
Trisha.
Atreya, at the Chepauk, I think we have spoken about this earlier. The Chennai team had gone into the auction probably thinking about, making a balance so that they can win more games in Chennai. You think their attack is more suited for the Chepauk pitch or conditions rather?
See, Chennai,
Atreya, yeah.
when they play at Chepauk, it's a becomes a very special atmosphere, and they are there is no doubt that the ground is going to be full, completely packed. The stadium, I mean, and they create some sort of an environment over there that because so many passionate fans and who all come to the ground and make it a very festive atmosphere, and that's number one. Number two is that it's a it's a it's some kind of a venue which suits their game plan very well, because it's I think it's going to be a spinning kind sort of a wicket. The pitch will play a part, and it's going to be a pitch where the ball will take a bit of a turn, and Chennai have their resources accordingly. I mean, they pick their sides accordingly. So it's going to be a super game between two super sides, as Pratik said.
And as we speak, the toss has happened, and Super Giants have won the toss and chosen to field. Devashish, question for you, right? I think, the Super Giants, what do you think of the toss? Obviously in the first game, Chennai batted first, they lost, and they'll be batting again here. Give us your thoughts on batting first at Chepauk. What will Chennai need to do? Rituraj scored a blinder, yet it wasn't enough. What does Chennai need to do differently here, being put into
Yeah,
bat?
all they need to do is to have all their top guns blazing. Means that's a simple theory. Obviously, the Ben Stokes did not get along. Obviously, he played just 4 balls in that first match. The Devon Conway is due for a big score. Obviously, this will be the first time that he's playing at Chipper in an IPL match. So that's going to be a challenge. But Ambati Raidu, he has been a legend in his own right, playing at the Chipper. Means he's part of the several IPL winning Chennai Super Kings team. So Ambati Raidu, Moin Ali again, is going to play a very crucial role. Ravindra Jadeja, I would love to see him batting up the order, as Trisha and I both will agree that Ravindra Jadeja, he was sent in a bit lower down the order in the last match. Definitely, Ravindra Jadeja, the kind of form he is in across formats in Test matches and ODIs in the recent series against Australia, I think he deserves a little up the order. He needs to go up the order. So and then you have a Mahendra Singh Dhoni. We saw a glimpse of Mahendra Singh Dhoni in the last match. That six he hit, but definitely I think rather than relying on Mahendra Singh Dhoni, it will be asking too much from that legend. Obviously, the onus will be on the likes of Ruturaj Gaikwad, Devon Conway, Ben Stokes, Ravindra Jadeja, and Moeen Ali. These top five needs to fire. It's Chennai, and remember Chennai. So it's as Atroda said, it has favored. It has the history of favoring the spinners. So Chennai Super Kings, if they can put a decent total, I think their spinners will come in handy, especially with the three spinners in the likes of Jadeja, Ali, and Mitchell Santner. I don't know the playing
Absolutely.
11. I just randomly went in and said that Mitchell Santner is he a part of the playing 11.
We will reveal the playing 11 in a bit, because now with all the playing 11 after the toss, batting, bowling, it is taking a little time. The whole confusion. But Atrio, coming to you, Lucknow bowling first. We have to speak about Mark Wood. But in Chepauk conditions, do you think he will be that effective?
He can be, because when you deliver the ball at that kind of pace with that kind of speed, that might be effective in any kind of surface. Because in fact, a pitch where the ball will probably grip a bit, and there he's kind of stuff can might also be very effective, because it's not about swing. It's about hitting the surface, gripping the surface, and then doing all sort of nasty things. So that is what Mark Wood is perfectly capable of, and that is probably he did in the previous match, where he got it to zip in into the right-handers. And I think Mark Wood will be a very very handy prospect in any pitch, irrespective of spin or pace. So today's game, Mark Wood is also going to be a factor.
And Devashish, you were asking about the teams. From what I see, CSK goes unchanged. But thanks to the rule that Trisha was talking about, LSG has one change. Unadkar has sort of come out and Yash Thakur comes in. Devashish, two questions. What do you make of this rule? I find it fascinating. It makes me, as a host commentator, it makes me very, uh, it's exciting. Yes, it's nervous because one doesn't know about the team. A, your thoughts on this new rule where you could decide the 11 after the toss, and B, any thoughts on Yash Thakur? We've seen him at India under 19, plays for Vidarbha, and your thoughts with him coming in and Unadkat going out, the more experienced bowler.
Yeah, that's a bit of a means obviously Unatkar. I would say that's a bold move to put it straight away. Means obviously that's a bold move, means to be drafting in a youngster under 19 player and straight away in a match against Chennai Super Kings. As far as the impact player rule, I think it's getting more and more intricate. Obviously, the best part is that the teams actually can afford to play in a specialist. I mean, so whoever wins the toss, they can afford to go in and bet better. And in the second, if need be, obviously RCB did not needed an impact player last match. Mumbai Indians went in with three overseas cricketer. That's another interesting aspect. Mumbai Indians going with three overseas cricketer, they can actually bring in that fourth overseas cricketer in the second innings. So there are a lot of things, Prantik. If as the tournament goes away, we will see lot many interesting equations, permutations, combinations happening. But and we are also getting used to this new rule, impact rule.
Absolutely. But when we talk about the impact rule, I will straight away go to an impact batter who hasn't really left his impact, for quite some time now. First in India color, and then now LSG's first match. Atro, KL Rahul, an important match for him. Do you think he is under a lot of pressure? Do you think because it's a different tournament and a tournament in which he scores well, do you think pressure is less on him? I I don't know. The question was very difficult, so he left. He didn't want to answer.
Devashish, maybe you can take the question
No,
before
no,
Atrix
Yeah,
hopefully
please
comes
don't
back.
leave.
come again? Can you come again, Trisha?
Yeah, just promise that you're not gonna leave after the question and
Never,
answer.
never, never, never. I don't.
So the question was that KL Rahul hasn't scored in India color for a long time now. He didn't deliver in the first match, but IPL is a tournament where he scores runs. So will he be under massive pressure? Or will he take comfort in the fact
I
that this is
I
a
think
tournament where he scores?
I think KL Rahul will cherish Chennai Super Kings. He has been the most dominating as far as facing Chennai Super Kings. He has been the most consistent player. Means whenever he has faced Chennai Super Kings, he has delivered. So I think it's a huge opportunity for KL Rahul. And remember, obviously, it was the first match that did not get going, but he's too great. We keep on saying about KL Rahul, means obviously he's too decent batter to come to terms, and obviously it's going to be a very important IPL for him as well. Means not as a captain but as a batter. Obviously, with that World Test Championship final and the World Cup in October and November, so KL Rahul definitely will relish this attack, and he has the best. I think best statistics. If I'm not wrong, he has the best statistics against the spinners in the Chennai Super Kings, especially the likes of Moeen Ali. So that's going to be, I think that's going to be an important matchup. Moeen Ali, I don't know. I have a gut feeling that Chennai might throw in a spinner at the power play. Means obviously they have a two left-handers in Kyle Mayers and sorry, in Devon Conway and who else is the left-hander in the Chennai Super? Ben Stokes. So definitely, I think
Lucknow will
it
start off with a spinner, is
start
what
out
you're
with a
saying.
spinner. I think so. It's going to be very interesting. So these are interesting. But as far as KL Rahul, I think he will cherish this opportunity because he has always delivered against Chennai Super Kings.
And Devashish, to continue to talk about the batting, I think what I found fascinating in the last game was the two West Indian, the two Caribbean batsmen. I mean, they came to the party. I'm a big fan of Kyle Mayer's bat, bowl. What an impact player. You have Nicholas, who has been criticized in the past that, he's not made the most of his potential. But so good to see the Caribbean players. And, Devashish, my question to you is you cover cricket all around the world. Do you think the impact of these guys playing in so many different leagues in so many different conditions, does that help them? Is that too much of a distraction, or it's really helping the likes of these Caribbean players to come and perform because they're just so experienced in this particular format?
Yeah, absolutely. And the innings that Kyle Mayers played in that first match, obviously, that's put in a spot of bother for Lucknow Super Giants think tank, because when Quinton de Kock arrived, obviously he's in the squad. He has arrived in India. So assuming that Quinton de Kock, he has an outstanding IPL last season, but with Kyle Mayers performing, it puts a lot of questions whether to go in with a Quinton de Kock along with KL Rahul, because KL Rahul, I think, will be a certainty in that opening order. So it will be between Kyle Mayers and Quinton de Kock, both left-handers and both attacking the dominating batters. But the form Kyle Mayers showed in that first match, if he can deliver in this match, then definitely it's going to put serious pressure on Quinton de Kock to keep his place or actually come back into that playing 11.
Absolutely. I think, because Debashish just said that because it's a left-hander heavy batting, as far as CSK is concerned, LSG might go in for a spinner. How impressive was Ravi Bishnoi, and do you think Ravi Bishnoi could be used by KL in the power play? Atrio.
Well, a spinner in the power play is always has been a very handy option for all the teams in the power play situation. And whether they will use Ravi Bishnoi in this particular phase is something we have to wait and watch before commenting. But yeah, he can be a very handy option because he has all the trappings. He has all it takes, which makes a bowler successful in that particular period of play, in that particular passage of play. And Ravi Bishnoi, he is a brave guy. He doesn't go by the template. He doesn't go by the usual the things that you associated with spinners and all that. And he tries to break the tradition, and he is anti traditional, you can say. So he can be a handy option.
But whether they will use them or not, I mean, how can we say that?
But you can
Talking
predict
about
because both of your predictions yesterday, Atra, was correct.
And that happens sometimes. It doesn't happen every day.
the predictions, nonetheless, I think talking about spinners, what I also find very handy in the LSG just to look at the balance. Obviously, you have Mark Wood, Yash Thakur is a bit of unknown. That's a risky move that Devashish you spoke about. Avesh Khan obviously fairly experienced in this format. But what I find interesting is the balance that comes in even with part-time spinners like Deepak Huda and Kunal Pandya, who could in this sort of spin-friendly track. Devashish, your thoughts on how important a role have these so-called part-time spinners have played? Back in the day, we had seen what Suresh Raina, the Yuvraj Singhs have done. In today's IPL format, do you think players like these can add a lot of value? Deepak Huda, Kunal Pandya.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's immense value to go any side. Means to have someone like a Deepak Huda who can roll in your arms for a couple of overs, or so, for that matter, Krunal Pandya, and because that lends to the flexibility and the balance of the side. And Chennai's and if you look at the Lucknow Super Giants squad, there are quite a few all rounders in Krunal Pandya, Marcus Stoinis, Deepak Huda. So the and so they can come in handy. Means obviously it's a game about all rounders more so. I would say because they are the ones who actually decides the fate of the match. Obviously, with the impact player rule coming now, means that somewhat negates the role of the all rounder. But still, I would say that with someone like a Deepak Huda and Krunal Pandya, definitely it adds balance to the side.
Atro, something related to the toss because I was just thinking Lucknow has been very good at defending totals. And Chennai also does well. I mean, first match was just one match, but generally Chennai at Chepauk, once they have a total, they can really suffocate the batters. So Lucknow go, you are comfortable with defending, but you are doing something completely. I wouldn't say completely different, but probably a little different. Does that show confidence, or does that show that just because it's the second match, they're kind of trying to weigh in, all the options, like how their team reacts to both the positions?
For me,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Yeah. See, I mean, it's too early in the tournament to see that whether a template has emerged or not, because it's just the second game for these two teams. So, and they are going to play some 14 games. So, a template
No, no.
is
The
yet to
template I was
emerge,
talking about was
and
taking IPL in general. The that Lucknow have been good at defending so far in the IPL. It was not the first match alone that I was talking about.
well, Lucknow are a fairly new side into the experiment. So they are, yes, they have defended well, but we cannot say for sure that they are only at defending. They are only good at defending well. So I'm sure that they are good at setting a target as well, and they're and when you play in Chennai on a spinning kind of a surface, you can't say for sure that it'll be a safe enough bet to be defending, and I'm sure they have enough resources to make both sides count. As in, they can do well while batting first, they can do well while batting second. So I think the bowling has a lot of uh, I mean, some kind of a lot of resources, and that's where it can come in handy. I mean, irrespective of whether you are batting well or batting second, batting first or batting second. So I think that is how it goes,
Devashish,
and
but to continue,
we cannot really.
to sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
No, nothing much. I mean, go ahead, please.
No, I was just continuing that chain of thought. I think Trisha brought about an interesting point because the corollary of that, Devashish, is what I notice is if I look at the last four matches or five matches that Super Kings has played, they've lost the last four. And if you look at it, they've lost against the Titans, Royals, Titans, and Mumbai. And in all those last four matches, they've lost when they were sort of they were put into bat first, or they went into bat first. So having even lost the last match where they sort of Titans won by 5 wickets with 4 balls odd remaining, and again being put into bat. I know home advantage you spoke about. I know the track's obviously good, spinner friendly. How much of that sort of pattern and template, to Trisha's point, does that play on the mind? Because you've lost 4 games on the trot, obviously considering the last tournament as last edition as well. Does that play on your mind that what, I've not succeeded whilst I'm sort of batting first? Will that play on their mind?
Shall I go?
Yes,
Yeah, for
Devashish,
you.
to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. I don't think so. It's a new season altogether. It's a new season. Obviously, new players coming in, and remember, it's most of the new players have not played in Chennai. Means IPL. I'm talking about. So I don't think that won't, but that would rather have any effect. Obviously, if you are talking about season campaigners who have played for long for Chennai, someone like a Dhoni or a Jadeja or a Raidu, yeah, but for someone like a Ben Stokes or a Devon Conway, I think that won't matter much. And in this Castrich League, the best part is that every season you get to see new players coming in, or few players going out, new composition. So I think that would, and the fact is that it's it's in a venue that has not hosted IPL matches. In fact, all other venues across India for the last 3 seasons. So it will be the first time after the 3 seasons that they are playing a match. So obviously we can talk about it more after watching 2 or 3 matches. Maybe I might be wrong. I might differ from you, but it's too early to say straight away that it's going to affect or but I might differ. I might differ.
Sure.
Right. Atro, from Shub Shorts has just asked Mark Wood versus CSK batters. I think Shuban is a little late. We have already discussed that Mark Wood, as Atro said, that someone with that kind of a pace will be effective. But I wanted to talk about a CSK pacer who has done very well in the power play. I think Deepak Chahar. Uh, he has come back after an injury. And
CSK,
how did you see him in the first match? Your thoughts on Deepak Chahar? Could you hear me,
Deepak
Atro?
Chahar is an asset.
Yeah.
We all know that. Yeah, I could hear bits and pieces of what you were saying, but I got a
Hmm.
gist of what you were saying. So it's
Okay.
Chennai's pace attack is probably not their strength, as in that is not what they base their game plan on. And Deepak Chahar is an exception in that case, and he's an asset. I mean, we all know that. I mean, he swings the ball early on, and he can be very effective on even on this kind of surfaces. But Chennai's game plan is possibly based on that. I mean, as far as the home games go, which they are playing after 3 years, as Debashish pointed out, that it's basically spin oriented. So it doesn't necessarily mean that on a pitch which assists spinners more, faster bowlers will be effective. It doesn't mean that. But I think Deepak Chahar and the likes of him are a little unlikely to be that effective in Chennai in and playing at Chepauk, because it's not a sort of a pitch which assists faster bowlers. I've seen a lot of matches in Chennai. I was there for 8 9 years. So it's not exactly a surface which assists the quicker bowlers. And I think Chennai's game plan is going to revolve around that their slower bowlers will be effective.
I think Aaron, I think Shubhan, what is trying to ask, if I shall I go ahead?
Yeah, yeah, please do.
Yeah. So my question to both Prantik, you and Atroda is that what Shubhan tried to say was that extra bit of pace from Markut trouble the LSG batters? Means do you see it as a challenge? Because as you have rightly said that obviously
CSK
Chennai
batters, you mean?
has the tradition of not having Chipak has the tradition of not having bounce fast tracks. Means obviously it has favored the spinners. But with Markwood having that extra pace, will it sort of trouble the CSK batters?
Should I go?
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone.
Devashish, I think I kind of agree with Atro in this. Especially in a track like Chepauk, where the ball is coming slow. Generally, it comes slow. Again, all this is general. We don't know the exact pitch or how will it play today. But generally, since the pitch is a little slow and helps the slower bowlers, somebody bowling at that pace can actually take the batters by surprise, and that's
Absolutely.
where I think he will be extremely effective. Suddenly he can give those wake up call to the batters, and
Right.
maybe he might not get a lot of wickets, but because he is forcing the batters to probably play a few false shots, they might then read the slower bowlers wrong. So that also can happen. So I do think Mark Wood will be very effective.
Yeah, I would tend to agree that I think Markwood will be very effective because not just pace, obviously that's exceptional pace irrespective of conditions, but also he's a smart bowler. I think he can he can his line and length, the control is good. He can change things around. In fact, what I want to see is how do the batsmen play a Markwood versus an Avesh Khan. I mean, honestly, if I was on the batting side, I mean, I would be targeting an Avesh Khan because at the end of the day, I have only 20 overs, and I might be planning that. Hey, look, if I can get through Markwood overs at about 5, 6 and over without losing too many wickets. The two bowlers that I would be looking to target, obviously Yash Thakur, the new bowler, obviously is a young, inexperienced player, as well as Avesh Khan, because I think Avesh Khan obviously can be nippy, but I think he comes at a pace which I think can be good for the batsman. So if I think from the batsman's point of view, these are two bowlers that I want. Those are 8 overs I want to really target and do my best to leave Mark Wood alone.
True. It's
Excellent
almost
point.
time for the game.
Excellent point
Sorry.
made by Prantik. Excellent point made by Prantik. Because yes, that is what from a batting side's point of view, probably that's what they would look to strategize. Yeah.
Yes. Well, only a few minutes left before we go to the first
And
ball
come
of
to
the match.
predictions, huh? And come to predictions, huh?
No,
And
before
come
I
to
come to
predictions, huh?
predictions, I have a small question. Key battle that you are looking forward to, and please don't say Markwood versus CSK batters. I need names. Yes,
Markwood versus Rituraj Gaikwad.
there you
That's
go,
the
Devashish. That's the spirit. Atra.
I hate this. I hate this X versus Y kind of a concept, but I would still
Yeah,
say
but we
it's
love
going
putting
to
you
be,
in
say,
that position.
I get it. Okay. I would say that it's Jadeja versus Myers.
Wow. See, Atro hates doing this, but when he actually comes up with, some sort of prediction or key battles to watch out for, he will always come up
You
with
force
a
me
very
to. I don't
unique
want
sort
to
of
do
way.
it.
Yeah, yeah, we push you to do it. I
I
understand.
don't want to do it. You force me to.
That's a mark of a good host, Atreya, to elicit the
Absolutely.
Sure.
best answers.
Prantik, I will give you I'll give you an opportunity to put Atro in another tough position again.
Thank you. And I know we probably just have a minute to go. So, Atreyu, I mean, my question not is A versus B, but about CSK's impact player strategy. We saw that they tried Tushar. I mean, I love the idea of backing a young player. Unfortunately, didn't fire well. Who do you think who will they pick in Chepak conditions?
See, these are difficult things to say because, and the first thing that I believe that this impact pair theory or this concept is a bit of a rubbish. You don't tinker with your 11, and when you have to do it, you have 4 or 5 players to pick from. So go ahead with anybody.
All right, very
But
very
what I
safe
sounds
answer.
like
But
is
like
the way
Devashish,
he has
I'll
I'd
said
give
like
no.
to I would
Devashish. I'll
like to
give you the
go
opportunity because
now
we
now
saw.
that yeah, now that CSK has picked Mitchell Santner, I would have thought that Mitchell Santner could be the impact player. I mean, if Chennai would have bowled second, but now that Mitchell Santner is there, so with the fact that Chennai will be bowling second, they might actually go in with an extra bowler in dropping Ambati Raidu and getting in a Simarjit Singh, because
Yeah.
Tushar Deshpande did not do well in the last match. He went for 51 runs. So maybe ideally get in another fast bowler from Punjab, Simarjit Singh. He might add more firepower to that bowling, because you know that most of these overseas cricketers from Chennai Super Kings like Sisanda Magala or a Mais Tikshana or a Pathirana is not there. So I think had they been there in that CSK, definitely either of them would have been the impact player. But now they have not many resources. So I would rather think that with Shantner playing already in the 11, I think Ambati Raidu gets dropped in the second innings and Simarjit Singh comes in as an impact player.
Well done, Debashish, on that. And Atreo's favorite time of the show, prediction time.
Come on, Atroda.
I think he's left the show again. Trisha, every time
Yeah,
you
I
ask a
think
good
the
question,
prediction, the word prediction has irked him. He has left the show. Debashish, your predictions quickly.
Yeah, quickly I would say I would go with Lucknow Super Giants.
Krantik. Even
Lucknow
hosts are
Super
in sync.
Giants, LSG wins by 5 wickets.
Wow. Well, LSG here as well, and Atreo I know wouldn't want to choose a team as such.
No, no,
So
now he's online.
yeah, he's there, but he doesn't want to choose. I think that's why he's not answering.
Atroda, we three have gone in with Lucknow Super
That's
Giants.
something
What's your prediction?
some kind of a awkward into every day. So I'll go with CSK because I worked in Chennai for 9 years. I lived in Chennai for 9 years. I love the so I'll go for CSK.
Whistle Pudu. Trisha, you are mute. You are mute.
Now she's gone. Trisha, are you back?
Yeah, yes.
No,
But
it's
we
we
can't
can't
hear
hear
you.
you. But no worries. I know we are at the fag end of the show. Match has begun. So three LSGs. We have one Chennai. Thank you for watching and enjoy the game. It's going to be a Dhoni show, but most of us feel LSG
Go
probably have a bit
Chennai.
of an edge. All right, we have Go Chennai from Atreo. Enjoy the game. We'll see you after the game. Thank you everyone
See
for
you.
watching.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.